Good evening. It's February. No, not February. It's March the 2nd of March already. New month. And today we have a special day on Wednesday. Usually I'm not streaming on Wednesday, but on Tuesday and Thursday. But tomorrow there's an important soccer match that I have to go to. So I will be out of office, I should say, if, tomorrow. So I'm there today, and let's start the show. Welcome back. Today is Office development, Office add-ins, Office extensions. Is what some people say. Office is really big. It's like Teams and SharePoint and Word and Excel, PowerPoint, and a lot of more items. We are focusing on the client hosts, Excel, Word, and things like that. And we're trying to build an add-in based on Blazor, and that's never done before yet. But we found that it's possible. A little bit dry throat. Let's go to the code window and see where we can continue. Let's go to GitHub. Check the project thingy. Projects. Beta project. Office Blazor. Fix layout opening page. Go locate JavaScript files with page views and components. I'm not sure what I meant with that. Use Blazor components. Yeah, that's also something that I'd like to bring in, but not tonight. Add manifest copy step. Oh, that's already done. These are already. That's not really clear. Is this option to have a view as a board? Yes, there's a board there. That's much better. Bring fonts to assets folder, documentation, web view requirements, style the loading page a little bit more, get return values. This is what I think we stopped last time. The end of the show, where we were not able to get the return value if it's an integer or a number from JavaScript and bind that to Blazor. Nav menu should take control bar into account. Not sure if that's still relevant. Let's open the add-in as we finished it last week. I think it was checked in. We have 4 edited files, changed files, content control details. Let's see what the changes are there. I think we disabled the return value. Restricted mode is intended for safe code browsing. Trust the window to enable all features. Yes. Trusted window. There's an update available. We'll do that later, please. Not while we are streaming. Yeah, so what we tried last time was to bring in the return value. Oh, this is the change again. Why is it giving a command window in between? Let's go to the Solution Explorer. Content details. There's a return value for this one that we did not get back at the other end. The output is showing in the window. But once you return from the JavaScript function, then it will not be visible anymore. And I think it has something to do with the JSON output that's returned by the new .NET JSON serializer, deserializer. Let's run this. This is basically the add-in. There are some other things that I also want to do. Let's open this in WinWord. This should now give us the debug version. We check that. Insert my add-in. Something that we did countless times already. This is the localhost version, so that's indeed the debug version. The local hosted version, not the one that's available on the web. Go to the add-in. I think it's the last one, content controls. Yeah, there's page counter is 0, but that remains 0, I think. If we it's set to 5 now. I think that's because we reverted it back to a string. On the other end, paragraph count. There's C#. What? I wonder if this is true. Private member of content controls detailed setup is unused. That's interesting. Set up. That's should be part of this one. Let's see if this actually changes. the number of let's see if that changes. Now it changed. It also changed in here. Very interesting because this failed last week when we stopped streaming, and now it's working. That's a surprise. Okay. Well, it's good to know that it's working. We did not get an update, I think, from or maybe I changed the property value. My property, no, it's still an integer. Convert to paragraph number output. Interesting. My property. Yeah, that's a wrapper. And we are using the class of my property. I really don't have a clue why this was failing last week. Yeah, it's actually working. Don't ask questions. It seems to work. In that case, we can just clean this up a little bit. There's the wrapper referenced 3 times. Initializing it and then using it returns my property. Let's rename some of these things. My property. So this can go now. Oh, return value. Return value. Let's make the wrapper class also. I don't think that's a nice naming. Let's make that return value. Return value. Return value. Stop the application again. Change the name of the text, or not the name, the output of the text in here. Paragraph counter equals to something. F5. Oh. Yeah, that's not working if we do this outside Word. Obviously. I should disable buttons if the word context is not set. Plus one item, disable Office related buttons if not in Office context. WinWord, blank document for now. Yeah, it's actually working. Let's have a inspect. Console. That's in there. That's in C#. JavaScript. I think this one. So writing exactly the same thing twice. Let's Google and see what that means. Displays an interactive list of the properties of the specific JavaScript object. Console standard has commit something currently calls for console dir to apply generic JavaScript object formatting before passing it to printer. But for a single argument, console log call spec-ends passing the JavaScript object directly to the printer. Since the spec actually leaves almost everything about the printer operation to the implementation, it's left to the discretion what type of formatting is used to console log. Console log for the DOM element. Oh, yeah. It's a picture. It's no code. Okay, let's stick with log then. Quite surprised that it's now working. Email registration. We don't use that at all, I think. No, that's not used at all. Paragraph count. It would be nice if we could get some reference information on JavaScript as well. Clear document, I think that's used. No, that's not the escape button, that was my lights. Blooper. Clear document. That's used. Control details. Insert paragraph, that should be, I think that's called separately, all from C#. In here. Insert paragraph. And replace and clear. How come that's telling me that's setup is not used? unused. Is it? No, it's not unused. This one is used by this one. Go to definition. I'm able to find that. But it's not complaining with this one. Why is it complaining about the unused item of content control details? Because it's this one. We look at this and we go to setup and then we click on go to definition. It's also not working. Let's stop the application there. Because this setup is going to index eraser CS. This is also giving mention that it's unused. How come? Index.setup is not used. It is used here. It's not complaining on this one. Private member Blazor code behind. Private member is unused, is incorrectly reported with code behind. Visual Studio supports reporting style violation when a private member is unused. When I have a Blazor component with the code behind file with the partial class, and I can have a private method of property, which can be found in the Razor markup, to the component event. However, it seems Visual Studio is not aware of the part of the partial class generated from the Razor file and the report style violation, despite the fact that the private member is used. That's true. From when is it? That's already December 2019. How comes that still under consideration? I think this is also a Blazor application. If you look at this, it's not opening. No solution, no workarounds, no posts. Our scope to the components class. Example throughout the Blazor documentation specified private access modifier for private members. Private members are scoped to the components class. However, C# assumes the private access modifier when no access modifier is present. So explicitly marking members private in your own code is optional. For more information on access modifiers, see access modifiers. Partial class support. In here, the increment count will be marked as unused, I think. Public partial. Do I have that public partial? Public partial, that's good. IDE 0051 Blazor. IDE 0051. Yeah, IDE 0051. 0051 Blazor. Code behind. Okay, let's bring that solution in then. Justification pending. And the justification is not pending. Text that is used to document the reason for suppressing this message. So that's just an arbitrary message then. Yeah. Okay, so bring this in. Reports message, reports method as unused while it is reproduced. Blazor file. Stilgar. Oh, here's some comments. 2019, we have directed your feedback to the appropriate engineer team for further evaluation. Thank you for sharing your feedback. Our team prioritizes action product issues with broad customer impact. See details something blah blah blah. If in case you need answers to common questions, no blah no. Thanks for contacting us. What other extensions do you have installed? We've seen similar issues caused by ReSharper. I don't have ReSharper. After some further investigation, we found a way to reproduce this. We'll investigate further and get back to you as soon as we have more information. That's January 2020. Strange, I changed the method to private. Now I see. Now to see I will be able to reproduce the issue and can't. It works as expected. I did a bunch of rebuilds when original saw the issue and it reproduced consistently. I don't have ReSharper installed. I'm not sure if even have an extension that doesn't ship with the standard installer. Here's the list from VS. Thanks for sharing. Prioritize something in case you need answers to that. I detected that this issue hasn't received a lot of activity votes or comments in the past 90 days. Based on this, the issue severity and the affected area, it's my experience that this issue is unlikely to get fixed. To improve the situation, consider following best practices, quality problem reports, and blah blah blah. So you want me to add some comment here. I want to back this up. Oh, now it's gone there, yeah. That's print screen. Saved it to disk. IDE 0051. to show you that it's this one. Index setup. Flag Shift S. Save. And the other one, that's this one. Where is it set up there? Interesting part is that this one is capitalized index setup, while this one is showing is also capitalized. Will it now go away? Yeah, now it goes away. Now it's gone, but now also this one, this one is suppressed. So if I remove the suppression there, now that fails again. So let's provide some feedback here. Please sign in. Okay. Okay. This one. Come on. There you are. It's a little bit buggy here, this thing. Community code of conduct. Yeah. Public. Attach system logs and recordings. I think there's no need to do that. We are using 602. 602. Code behind. Private method is reported as unused, while the method is used in the .razor file. Bring in an image. Studio, bolt, and razor file. Bring in another image. Code can be found here on GitHub. Then we have to go to GitHub. Let's duplicate this one. Then go to the repo. to its demo. No, Blazor add-in there. Blazor add-in. Pages. Where's my report? There. Link. Changing the access, how do you call that? Access specifier, private, internal access modifier, C#. Visible within the class, derived, but not in the non-derived, but it is in the same class, I think. Private is to be only within the class. That's tricky because the how's the eraser considered to be? Things should be considered in the same class. Change the access modifier to internal. Private. Visual Studio, the version is about Visual Studio. ASP.NET Core. Oh. Print screen did not work there. Save as. Visual Studio. Go back to the browser. Add another image. Is it 6? It's not mentioning 6 something. To 72 O preview 1, 72 O to O preview 1. Copy. Do use this space to post the solution to the problem. Feel free to add the detailed blah blah. Avoid asking questions or responding to other solutions. If you need to ask questions, send comment instead. Submit. I hope it will submit, but let's put it in Notepad there. I think it's failing. Darn it. It's a buggy thing, this thing. Now there's no thing there, nothing. Come on. Successfully submitted, but might take some time to show up. Please refresh the page after some time. Okay, let's put this also in the link in the text here. And save this. To my sticky notes. Bring in the sticky note there. Unused bug Blazor. That saved it, so we can now close this over here. Let's refresh this page. Oh, it's now mentioning something here. It's a real buggy thing. Let's Control F5 this. And this one says, is there an error adding the workaround? I hope not. Now we have 7 and we have a 1. But the 1 is not showing. There's 8 now here. wonder why this is so slow. Let's close some pages there because it's no longer needed. Control F5, come on. Still not showing. Triaged. Even upvoting is not working. Well, let's get back to this some day later. Not sure if I also got an email for that. At least I got it in my list. Let's put this in the to-do here as well. Unused method. Reported to Microsoft. Check on feedback. So solving this is apparently setting this to internal. But then the question is it still working? Build it. Well, at least the error goes away. But is it also still running? When Word. It is still working. Let's Control F5 this. Still working, yeah. Inspecting it. Paragraph count C#. Error in connection establishment.net. Error connections reset. Chrome gives the error WebSocket connection something. That's what I have as well. Is there a solution? Repro, the issue relates to VisStudio 22.17.1. By using 17.1.0 after running the application, even the web page can display well. If we check the F12 console pane, we see the error. The issue has been feedback to the VisStudio forum, WebSocket something. You can upvote it, and that's what I see as well. As a workaround, you can uninstall 17.1 and install a version before 17.1, such as 17.04. Check this version, and this version has no WebSocket connection error. If the answer is the right solution, click Accept Answer. What date is this? 18/5/15, 5/35. That's after this one. Thank you for your project. Your project gives me the same error, so it's either my browser or VisStudio has a problem. My Chrome version is 98 something blah blah. VisStudio, I'm using Edge version 98. Thank you for the project. Gives the same error on Edge here as well. Here's the console log, something blah blah blah. The link may help. This link may help. Work for me using the solution provider in the blog here. Provided in the blog here. How to fix error connection reset. How to fix the real problem after some time, and I did repair IIS Express at least 2-3 times. I tried second answer from Stack Overflow question, and yeah, it worked. Set up SSL URL. Use self-signed. Another option, check out the project settings and try to change the bitness settings. I had once a problem x64 instead of default. I'll try to recreate a virtual directory there. Okay, let's at least upvote the issue there. That's the same thing. You have directed feedback, something private, same error. Fix for the issue has been internally implemented and has been prepared for release. We'll update you once it comes available to download. March 22. Oh, this is today. Okay, cool. Let's see if I can upvote this one. Why is it not able to upvote this? Same thing as the other one. Fixed. What if I go with this to that link using Chrome? Maybe that's working better. Copy link, Chrome. Come on. Okay. Authenticator. Proof. Now I'm logged in. And I upvoted apparently. Yeah, okay. Can it show me my own things? That's only reported February 18th, so that's not that long ago. Okay, let's also copy this one in the one over here. Error with WebSocket. I guess this is the issue that you have when you're running preview software. But that's also the fun of it. On the other end, we did not do much that we planned today. It's already 22:26. Let's close it. At least that this one is working. I want to change the text somewhat in here. When it's already in there and it's reloading, it should initialize this one. Can we do that. Now let's stop the website here. Don't save. And close the... What's this? This can close now. Let's clean it a little bit up. Oh, there we go. And we can close this. Let's go first to the UI. Make that a paragraph. Paragraph interact. Copy that. Save. Can we rename this? Interact with paragraphs. Let's find the detail. This sample demonstrates how to insert and change content controls properties. This sample demonstrates adding some paragraphs and returning the paragraph count to the UI. Each step is now separated in smaller snippets. Compared to the home page. Insert paragraph, and then we need to make that insert paragraphs. That's in there. Now we also need to rename this one. See if it still works. Five. Open it in WinWord. We need to rename the button as well. Paragraphs interaction. Set up. I think we can just remove the title there. It's now 5. If I reload this one, it now mentions 0, so we need to fix that. Let's see if we can do that. So we need to Notepad fix paragraph count on reload and rename button interactions and remove setup title. Add some margin, top margin to paragraph counter. That's some things that we need to remember. Let's start with remove setup title. Let's close this first. Close that and terminate this one. Remove the setup title. Set up. That's in 2 locations, but this one is obsolete. Class equals to margin top 2 maybe. Let's remove the setup title. That's can we do that? Check. Add some margin. That should be check. Rename the button paragraph interactions. In the menu, that's in navigation. There. Content controls. Paragraphs. Now the top one, this one, fix the paragraph count on reload. Maybe it's easy, but good evening, Najert. How are you doing today? Usually I'm not streaming today, but Thursday. but I have to go to a soccer match tomorrow. Let's see, that's the menu that we fixed. We need to go to interact with paragraphs. So when can we do this after render? Yes, maybe. Count paragraphs. Let's try that. Did you do Duolingo today? Well, I did that actually right after the stream last night. So that's basically early in the morning. It was about 1:30 a.m. I think. And that counts for the day already. Yeah, I basically want to add some more lessons there, but my guess is that I will be running out of time to do that. Where is this? Oh, we have to wait that. Wait. So this will also be interesting to see if we get 0 items back. So thanks for the reminder, and just I'm learning Chinese. It's for the people who don't know the stream. I'm learning Chinese, not in the stream. Maybe I should add it to the stream as well, that we are collectively learning Chinese. But I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Now I'm learning English, but I want to learn a second foreign language. Do you have advice for a language? Second, well, that will be your third language, because I think. Do you also speak your native language from your country? I could say because are you if you are in Belgium? Are you? No, that's the other guy. Where are you? Where are you from? I think Amine Ismail was from Belgium. Little bit Kurdish. That's it was Iran. Do I remember that correct? Because you were working on the Iran website. Yeah, Chinese is very cool, but it's very hard to learn. Yeah, what would be a good second or third language in your case? I don't know. We're in the Netherlands. We usually are surrounded by Germans and French people. French is a kind of a world language. Canadians speak French. Belgians speak French for the half of the country. France is speaking French, and we have several other countries that also speak French. English is, I think, the most widespread language. Russian would be useful at this time, but yeah, I'm not all in favor of Russian languages. Spanish is also one of the biggest countries, spread of countries used in huge areas. I think South America is also a lot of Spanish people, Spanish speaking people, I think. It's that set up there, but they already changed that, I think. Oh, I was going to the oh, I did change it already, counting the paragraph on loading it. Let's test if that's working. Build succeeded. It will be good if I learn. Well, all learning is good. So many languages. How many languages are there in the world? I think only South Africa already have hundreds of different languages, dialects maybe. Google. How many languages are there? Oh my god. Roughly 66,500 languages are spoken in the world today, each of everyone to make the world a diverse and beautiful place. Oh, let's click on this one. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's interesting. So I'm actually learning the second biggest language, Mandarin. That's Chinese. Oh, Hindi is also huge. India, Spanish, as you mentioned. The fourth language, French. Arabic is also interesting, but that's also one of these difficult languages with its signing, writing. How to write that? How did so many languages come into being? And yet it's a living process, I think, because only in the Netherlands already we have some dialects that are hard to understand. All the languages in Pakistan already: Punjabi, Sindhi, Saraiki, Pashto, Urdu, and English also in the list. But that's the yellow-orange thingy. That's this thing or this thing. I think it's this thing. 8% only. In all English plus all others, that's 8%. Wow. Yeah, Mandarin is Chinese, but again, that's one of the dialects in. I think it's a dialect. Chinese. Oh, as you go to. They are Mandarin. Why is it searching in Dutch? That's annoying for you. Oh. Ten Chinese languages. Well, this is also the Dutch one. Yeah, that's not working. Chinese languages. Chinese language. Standard forms: Mandarin, Cantonese, Gan. What is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 dialects already. But China is also a huge country. Mandarin is the largest area. So where is Hong Kong? Here. It's kind of speaking UE, 71 million worldwide. Mandarin, 836 million people talk Mandarin. Okay, imagine. Have you heard of Ukraine, by the way? I'm depressed a little bit. What do you think will happen next? Well, to be honest, I think the whole Europe is depressed right now. And it's kind of out of control at this time. There's no way of knowing what direction this will go. I guess it will all depend on Putin. And I'm really no clue why he did this, because it's costing him a lot of money, and many people's lives are lost by doing this. You never know what a psychopath Putin will do. Well, basically you don't even know if he's a psychopath, but what is driving him? I don't know. In my opinion, it's not the smartest move that he made there. Let's test this. WinWord. Blank page. Now we should get some menu, paragraphs menu. Paragraphs interactions. Sample demonstrates adding some paragraphs and the returning paragraph count. There's now 0. Insert some paragraphs, 5. What I found interesting is that this one is updated when you put things in there. Now you don't. So if I reload this, it's still 0. So it's not running after not running, or maybe it's giving an error. Let's console this. It says 7 here. That's interesting. So this is apparently updated. Let's put this a little bit at the side there. Oh, that's not what I had in mind. Let's see if we type something here. No, it's not updated. But if I do this, now it says 8, but it's not reflecting over here. Ooh, that's not what's supposed to happen. Kicking the microphone. So another interesting thing is if we do some paragraphs in there. Now we do this again. What? Let's watch this one. Can we clear this? No, clear. There's a clear option here. Clear console. Now if we go to run this again, it starts with 1. If I do this and then do the reload, let's make it visible. It starts with 9, but it's showing 0. So that's interesting. When does the binding kick in? The C# one, this one. So this one is performed. No, yeah, the other one, this one. We can console. After render async. Count paragraphs. That's the one with C# in it. Let's remove the break there. Because this one is binding on the Razor file here. Blazor binding. Binding. When does Blazor binding occur? Data binding Blazor. One-way binding, event or user action value updated. The value is updated. The question is, what's the timing for the event? Bind this property. The build render tree. It doesn't say when this is kicking in. Binding, not blinding. Back to work. Yeah, that has to be done as well. Thanks for stepping by again. See you in the next stream, hopefully. It's good to have a talk with you today. Thank you. Binding the value of HTML. Always enjoy chatting with people. How Blazor framework gets notified when the property value gets changed. How the renderer knows that the property change has changed. Is there anything like something blah blah blah? Except answer. Blazor automatically checks for changes of bound properties when user interaction happened. Button click, text in input change in that case. Blazor JavaScript code triggers change detection. Therefore, you don't need to do anything. Okay. However, there are cases where you want to refresh the UI, although no user interaction has happened. In that case, you have to call state has changed. I have created a more detailed example on learnblazor.com. State has changed. That's interesting. State has this informs Blazor we want a parameter on our component that is settable via what looks like an HTML attribute. Whenever parent component is re-rendered, Blazor will also re-render any child component. It provides parameter values too. This ensures the child component is re-rendered. This informs Blazor something what? Parameter. This tells us clearly what is missing. To add a parameter to a component, we must decorate a component's property with an attribute, parameter attribute. Okay. So would that mean that we need to make this a parameter? I don't believe it, really. Cascading type parameter. What's cascading type parameter? Denotes a generic type parameter as cascading. This allows generic type inference to use the type parameter value automatically on descendants that also have a type parameter with the same name. Okay. Let's try this first. squigglies, updating the attribute. Yeah, we need to restart it, obviously. Close this, and then let's run it again. Oops, oopsie. Yeah, and the reason for this to fail is because there's no option to do that if it's outside Office. Let's try do that in WinWord then. That's the remark that I made. So you have to disable these things when it's not in the in the context of Office. Let's run this. So now it did not fail. Still 0. It is returning it, but it's not updating the binding on load. Blazor reload. Solution in end. Return correct. Problem was a control without from query. Load people. State has changed. Configure await. What does configure await do? Configure. Oh. The configure await method isn't special. It's not recognized in any special way by the compiler or runtime. It's simply a method that returns a struct configure task awaitable that wraps the original task. It was called on as well as the specified boolean value. Remember that await can be used with any type. That exposes the right pattern. By returning a different type, it means that when the compiler accesses the instance getAwaiter method, part of the pattern, it's doing so of the type returned from configure await rather than of the task directly, and that provides a hook to change the behavior of the await behaves. Interesting. Specifically awaiting this type return from configure await. Continue on capture context false instead of awaiting the task directly ends up impacting the logic shown earlier for how the target context scheduler is captured. Why would I want to use it? Yeah. It's used to avoid forcing the callback to be invoked on the original context of scheduler. Improve performance, avoid deadlocks. When should I do that? Is it okay to use the configure only on the first await? In general, no. See the previous FAQ. If the await task configure await involves a task that's already completed by the time it's awaited, which is actually common. State has changed there. State has changed. This does not work, I think. Copy, let's copy this one. Invoke async and state has changed. Google. It's about lambdas in C#, nothing to do with Blazor. It's under discussion and that's gone. async something, status changed. Rebuild and apply changes. This will give a load error. Yes. Word. Blank document. One, yeah, there's one. And it's actually updating. How cool is that? Wow. Still 5, that's good. So what we probably can do, count paragraphs. When is this? This is also entered when we change something in the document. Let's have a look at the output in here, inspect. Console. Oh, oops. That's not completely what it should do. That's a bit much. Yeah, so it's now that's a problem because now it's recurring. It is interesting to see that it's doing that, but it's not preferable. Oh. Because this one will hit count paragraphs, and this will force it to reload again. this is not what it should do. It should not do it because it's cycling around. Copy. Blazor had some additional lifecycle methods. Then we could hook into like on before render or on status changed. So let's rethink this, because we have this thing on here when it's saying the status changed. Where do you get this one? The return value should be updated. And it's updated by getting the return value this one. That's referenced by this one. Count paragraphs. Status changed. Should not do it after on render after render async. If first render let's try that. Stop it. Yeah, that's to be expected. Ooh, okay. Yeah, the problem is you can't run the invoke async here yet. Value cannot be null. After started. Office already. Blazor component life cycle. On initialized. Is the task complete? Yes, then on parameter set async. Build render tree when parameters are set. Set parameter async. Start date is default. Start date, date now. After render, but we want to do it before the render. State has changed. Notifies the component that the state has changed when applicable. Calling state has changed causes the component to be re-rendered. If forecast equals 0, loading, otherwise bring in the component on initialize async. Stateful reconnection after pre-rendering. String data after render async. Data is null. State has changed. Object is not null. Event handler. Basically what we wanted to do is on document change update the paragraph items. Before start, Office already. let's for now disable the. I think we should disable the on change. State change. Let's think about this, because if we do insert paragraphs, it should say the state is changed. State has changed. That should await. Deleting await expression requires restarting the app. Yeah, of course. This should almost be like here. State has changed. Now that should do it at the end. Insert, replace, clear, count paragraphs. This should be triggered by after render. So this is not allowed in that place. Maybe in this location. Stop this show. Let's try this. Paragraphs. 0 should be 1, 5. You see it updating. And 5. Why is it only 1 and 5? So the first one. Let's reload this. It's doing the on after render. So interesting part is that we after started is only just after that one, and after render async is going before that. Oh, Office already. Then it's going to do this, but now it should do the paragraph count on change. But if we do the on state change, that will loop again, I think. Count paragraphs. Console, right line, It's an interesting exercise to find out the life cycle of this in the context of JavaScript. After started. Start first render. Done first render. So this is done in the first render. Set to 1. So now we insert paragraphs. So it updated first to 1. So the thing that happens there when we start kicking in the button, invoke async paragraph C#, so they both enter. First render, that's going to JavaScript already, C#, but this is not displayed. You don't see this until you do the count paragraphs again. Then you see it starting first with somehow that's triggered then. So how can you force a binding object to refresh? Change. When the component is rendered not in response to changes to the field or property value. Since components render themselves after event handler code executes, field and property updates are usually reflected in the UI immediately after an event handler is triggered. As a demonstration, so if you click a button that's an event handler, by default, binding applies to the elements on change event if the user updates the value of a text box entry to 1, 2, 3, 4 and it changes the focus. The element's value is reverted to 1, 2, 3 when onChange fires. When the value 123.45 is rejected in favor of the original value, the user understands that the value wasn't accepted. We could do something different here. require the application. So if we do what's on the button here? Let's do insert paragraphs. Yeah, like that. And this you do count paragraphs. That should be a wait again. Build it, see if that's doing something. My guess is that this will still not work because it's not responding to an event there. Show task pane. Zero, it should say 1. See, it's the same issue. One, 155. Then it renders again. And then we'll set it to 5. What if you do? That's too tricky because you can't invoke it yet. Pre-render. Update from chat. So either we need to do the invoke this one earlier, not in the after render. It's as if we only play one music thing. Is it always the same? TV antenna. Let's see, what's the next one? Moonbeams, yeah. This is a different one. I was thinking the music was cycling through the same song over and over, but They all look alike apparently. On after render async, set element text. This is one that we need, I think. To delay interop calls until a point where such calls are guaranteed to work. Override the on after render async lifecycle. This event only called after the app is successfully rendered. And this one will set element text 1. Preceding example pollutes the client with global methods. For a better approach in production app, see JavaScript isolation in JavaScript modules. State has changed is called to re-render the component with a new state obtained from JavaScript Interop call. For more information, the code doesn't create an infinite loop because state changed is only called when data is null. Okay. So in this case we can do that would be an option, I think. Private string data. Okay, let's do this different then. If let's call this one new return value, and the return value is starts with -1. If return value equals to -1, state has changed. So this will be done once. Let's change that back to what it was. Don't use the return value. This return value is something. Now this is no longer necessary. Okay, let's test this. F5. It's still snowing, by the way. I should remove this snowman, I think. It's already March, for Pete's sake. What's happening? Did I get a message somewhere? I don't know. Windward. There it is, 1. But is it also looping? No, it's not. That's good. 5. And it's 5 now. So now we should do something like on document change, adding an event. But that will be something for the next time because we're running out of time already. Let's quickly have a look at the ready button. If check if Office context OfficeJS is completely undocumented and could change if Microsoft want to, but it's highly unlikely as it would break existing Office apps. Office on already. adding additional JavaScript framework that include their own framework handler. If you use class component, you can put it in component will mount. If you use component function component, OfficeJS, check if running in host. That's the same thing again. OfficeJS API on the client side Office Context Platform. I think it's count paragraphs, that's this one. That will fail. That's the part, that's this one. Find the already, like that. Already, then if you're using additional JavaScript framework that include their own initialization level tests, be placed within the response to Office already. However, there are exceptions to this practice. To open your add in the browser instead of side loaded in something. I should think about this because we do check on this here. Already, we should save that somewhere. Initializers before start called before the Blazor starts. Used to customize the loading process. Yeah, so let's think about that a little bit more. Where can we put already to make sure OfficeJS is fully loaded every time? Fully load every time. Is the React thing again? Asynchronous methods that returns promise objective while it checks to see if JavaScript library is fully loaded. When and only when the library is loaded, it resolves the promise as an object. instead of passing a callback, you could chain then equivalent written in TypeScript would be something like that. If you are using additional JavaScript framework, this is a copy from the other thing. So much cloning of things. If you go to GitHub there, and we do here a search for Office on Ready, all of GitHub. Now we have over 1,000 items. Tutorial function. Office already should be each time the page is loaded. Why? Simple. That's mine. Already. So sleepy. Okay, let's do some more research on this. Close all of this. We need to find out if we can check if it's running before the page is opened on Blazor. close all this. See what the changes are here. Renamed. What's the difference on index? Yeah, we put it to internal. And we also did that same thing on this one. Why is this not? Yeah, this is internal. Why is the manifest changed? Yeah, that's because it's the localhost version, so that should be changed. By stopping this, go change again. Dev menu, then the menus changed, that's also right. Put this to release and build this. Now we should go and commit. Interact with number of paragraphs. Renamed. Updated component. To match functionality. Functionality. My typing today is terrible. Again, commit all and sync. To avoid going wrong next time, put this on debug again, then close it. Close that. Fix paragraph count on reload, that's what we did as well. Check all checks. Don't save. Let's see if we have updates available for the VM for next time. Updated available, yes. Good. Let's wrap it up. It's 37 past 12, March 3rd already. It's Friday now, it's Thursday. Today, Thursday, I won't be streaming. That means tonight I won't be streaming after getting some sleep. So that's a little bit change of the schedule there. I will be back on Tuesday again, continuing doing a Blazor website with the gear items and things on my blog page, on my landing page, softtestinsoftware.com. So thanks everyone for watching, and hope to see you next week on March 8th for another session of Blazor development. Thanks for watching and see you next time.